my friends, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for being here. In this video, I think I will share the stuff I got in that Sephora sale that everybody's been talking about. I know I could have busted out like an immediate haul and done a video on it before the sale ended, and I love seeing what other people got no matter what, but at the same time, I don't really want to steer you towards products I know absolutely nothing about. Just because it's what I got doesn't mean it's necessarily what you should get, kind of thing. So waiting till now to share this haul, even though the actual sale is over, it at least allows me to have a little more educated opinion on the stuff that I got. I actually did my order in like 2 rounds. I did some stuff and then I'd kind of forgotten about the Sephora collection and what a good deal you could get on those products. So I went into some of that as well in a separate order, but I have it all here and I've been playing with it all for days now. I got a new foundation, and this one has been asked about multiple times for quite some time now, and I just felt like now is the time to go ahead and grab it. It's from Shiseido, and it's the Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. It's oil-free, has SPF 30, and I have it in the shade 220 Linen. And yeah, if you've been asking about this in the comments, I've been seeing that. I really thought a lot about the things that I purchased in this sale, and some of the things aren't brand new products. They're things that have been around for a while. But wow, I've got a lot to say about this foundation. First off, you're going to turn it, and then you can pump it out. I'm doing almost a full pump, and it's super thin. Just a very liquidy foundation. But I'm so impressed by the coverage. And it does have really good staying power. I kept the box because it had all this info about this self-refreshing. Active Force technology synchronizes with skin and helps to resist heat, oil, humidity, and motion for a fresh, natural finish that lasts all day, 24-hour wear. Flawless, weightless comfort, medium buildable coverage. I believe it is medium buildable coverage. It's pretty darn close to full though, I will say. This shade is just verging on light for me. It's definitely workable. I could have maybe gone a little bit deeper right now, but I do think for the duration of winter, this will probably be just right. But I have found it to be very long wearing, looking flawless all day. I feel like it might be an ideal foundation to really test during the summer months, you know, for some of these claims about heat, oil, and humidity, just because I don't feel like I'm giving my skin that much of an obstacle right now in terms of staying power. But still, some things will break down on me, and this does last really well. I don't feel like I have to use a special primer with it. Didn't even put on a primer today. There's one go round, not even a full pump, and it looks fresh on my skin. It's trying to be a matte finish, but it's thin, super lightweight, wears a long time. Anytime I put this on, I haven't done any sort of touch up to it, so it really can hang. Now, that being said, there are drugstore foundations that can do super well also. I mean, I'm thinking of the Maybelline Super Stay. One thing it actually reminds me a lot of texture-wise, just the consistency, the lightweight, thin nature of it. You remember that Catrice HD Liquid Coverage? That stuff was amazing coverage, incredible staying power, looks matte on the skin, thin, lightweight. I feel like that might be the closest thing to the experience of this, but this has been wearing really well. And then I even got the little concealer, okay? So I wanted to try the full thing. And Shiseido is just not a brand I've really dug into outside of the eyelash curler. I love and adore the eyelash curler. It's my absolute favorite, but yeah, now I'm trying the makeup. 103 Fair is my shade in the concealer, and they say long-lasting, medium to full coverage, weightless. I feel like it really falls right in line with the purpose and the functions of the foundation, but I'm going to put a few dots of this on. Just a few dots. We're going to go around areas where we do get a little redness later in the day. I find that when I look up close at my skin later in the day, this really doesn't look like it's collecting anywhere. It doesn't look heavy in any certain place, which is definitely, you know, a real thing that does happen sometimes with other products. It's good coverage, it's super thin and light, and I feel like it's maybe a little less coverage than some other options out there. Like I'm thinking about e.l.f. Camo Concealer, Tarte Shape Tape. To me, I mean, maybe it's just me, I'm having trouble telling. I feel like I'm getting really good coverage, but maybe not quite as much as those things. What are your thoughts if you have this? Do you feel like this is the fullest coverage concealer you have? I feel like it's so thin and light. I don't know that it's necessarily my most coverage. Maybe I just need to work with it some more, but give me your 2 cents. I'm kind of patting it into because I felt like even with a seemingly minimal amount, I might have gotten even more than I needed. Legitimately though, very good coverage, very lightweight on the skin. Not looking thick and heavy. I feel like it's trying to be kind of a matte, natural finish. They can hang. They can hang. They've got good staying power and I've enjoyed them. I think they're super high quality products. Then I got kind of an exciting powder. And I also got a pack of new sponges here because I wanted to be able to go to something when I'm washing my e.l.f. Halo Glow. And to be honest with you, I got these from Amazon. I like the shape even better. They're even more pointed. So they hit that inner corner even better. So I can link to that pack of sponges that I got. Super cheap too. I got 6 of them for like $5 or $6. But I got a new powder. It's from Mercier and it's her translucent loose setting powder Tone Up in the rose shade. So we're talking another one of those like light pink setting powders, but with the formula we know and love of Mercier setting powder. I'm shaking a little bit out here and I'm going to go into that with my little triangle sponge and just dab some over my concealer to set it. This has worked really, really well. It's been extra brightening, extra smoothing to this area. The color tone of it, it's a little hard to tell, you know, with these light powders because it's not like they're looking bright pink, but hopefully you can see there is a light rosy tone to that. And I just feel like when I set it with the puff, it becomes a little more one with the skin. Just my powdering is just a little more effective in making the area look really smooth and flawless. And I can also set all over the face with this. I would say if you're looking for a drugstore alternative, you can get the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder in the light pink shade, and it works really well too. Something I like about this one though is how completely just mattifying it is too. So I hadn't heard anybody talking about this, but I was really excited to grab it, and it was, I think, in the new section of things. So my technique when I do powder like this, I don't know if it's technically correct, but I do kind of like dust it away right after if there's any excess there. And I just feel like end result, super brightening, even, blurred. So skin is looking really good. It needs some color, you know, obviously it needs some blush, some bronzer, but the evenness is really nice. It's matte, but it's not feeling heavy. I dig it. This is squirrel mug. I'm still fall up here, but I did decorate for Christmas over the weekend. I did it all yesterday, guys. I just decided I had the time. I had Bub home to get some heavy boxes up for me, and I just felt like tackling it. And I think I did it about a week later than this last year, but I love Christmas so much. My kids get such a kick out of it. It's so amazingly fun to watch Bubba take it all in this year too. Being 3, he's kind of like, I feel like he's getting everything more. But for all the effort it takes to decorate for Christmas, and I do this house up pretty big, 1 month just doesn't feel like enough to me. I need to go more than that. So yeah, I did it. I did it everywhere else. I don't have this room done. I guess I didn't do anything upstairs technically. The girls' tree is not up. Hi, Biscuits. Biscuits has really been enjoying running underneath the tree. They're being good so far about not messing with the tree itself, but once I put a tree skirt underneath our big main tree, they were like diving under it. It's like a hard floor, and then they were just like scooting underneath. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna go without the tree skirt for a little while here. What else did I get from the sale? Well, I saw somebody using the Milk cream stick, the cream bronzer on, I think it was TikTok, and they were talking about how great it is, and I thought, you know, I know I've used it at some point, but it's been a while, so I got a mini of it. It's the matte bronzer in the shade Baked. It is really good, but I feel like it's kind of Milani Ginger in cream stick form. And by Milani Ginger, I'm meaning that little liquid product that comes out of the puff that I've raved about so much. It's like that same tone, maybe a little bit lighter. That's the thing. This color veers on being just slightly lighter than most of the cream bronzers I love, but it still looks pretty on my skin. And I think it could be a nice, like, kind of winter bronzer, actually. It does some contouring. It's maybe a little bit on the warm side. This does come in a darker option, by the way, my friends. So there it is, all blended out. You know, it's fine. I would say, like, I was just curious about it. Have you ever gotten curious about something you already know you've used in the past, but it's kind of like somebody makes you wonder what the fuss is about all over again? And I'm kind of like, yeah, it's okay. It's just okay for me. I've got enough good cream bronzers, like even Wet n Wild wears Walnut, that one that I mentioned from Alani, the liquid one. I'm really glad I only went for the mini size here because I just don't, it's not knocking my socks off quite as much as it was knocking this other person's socks off. From the Sephora line, I got a couple of things here. I've been really impressed with their powder face products. I got several. They've all been great. Was this in a blush section of the website? I can't remember. It says Colorful Contour. It's the shade First Touch. These are actually super smart compacts. Nobody has ever told me that they open up two ways. They open up from the bottom. You do have a mirror down in there, and you can just take that darn pan out and you could put that in a palette, like a Z palette type thing. Or, you know, just keep that shut and use it straight out of here. Here's your mirror once again. Now this is a cool medium tone bronzer, I would say, or contour maybe I should say. A lot of times those cool tone powders are very light. This one is a little bit deeper. It shows beautifully on the skin. It's nicely pigmented. So like if I want to go over and add a little more dimension here, like it's beautifully cool, definitely gives you that naturally shadowed vibe, but a little deeper than most. I like it. I like the pigmentation. I really am very impressed with every Sephora powder I got. I got 2 different blushes. And it doesn't shock me because I've liked their eyeshadow formula a lot too. I can get under here. Thank you to you guys who have messaged me on Instagram about Biddy, hoping she feels better. She did really well yesterday. She's gotten a stomach bug. It was Thursday night when she got sick with that, and so she missed school on Friday. It was her first day to miss this year. During the day Friday, started feeling a lot better, seemed great on Saturday, just like wanting to play, her full energy level, eating some normal foods, and then by Saturday evening, and I swear it followed the same pattern when Belle had this a month ago, and Biddy managed to never catch it then, but Belle had it one day, rebounded real quick, and it was actually on a Thursday, and then on a Saturday night she got sick again, and it felt really out of the blue. So then you feel like you're back at square one. You know, anybody who's nursed a stomach virus kid back to health, it's like, okay, we start back on water, then maybe we move to some Gatorade, then we try some crackers, and we start, you know, working into normal eating. And so throughout most of the day yesterday she seemed fine. I'm hoping, you know, this morning, this is Monday morning as I shoot this, she's gotten through the night. So hopefully today she's feeling a little bit more like her normal self. But yeah, stomach flu, not fun for anyone. Okay, couple of blush things that I got. I got one of their duo blushes, Matte Perfection Blush Duo in Peach Blossom. These compacts are a little bit bigger, but you're getting 2 tones, and they're both matte. They're beautifully pigmented. There's like that coral and then this more like deeper orangey shade. So pretty. Super gorgeous. Great pigmentation, easy to use. Absolutely love that. Used that several times since I bought it. Oh, another Sephora collection thing I got. It's sitting right in front of me, and I guess I couldn't really use it today because I was doing the Shiseido thing, but I got the Best Skin Ever concealer. I also already had the foundation from that line, so I got this full coverage concealer. So far so good with this too. 11.5p. Need to work with it a lot more to give you a full verdict on that, but I'll probably use that in a future video. The other blush I got was this little cool pink called Over the Moon, and it's the same size and shape as that bronzer or the contour that I used. And you know, everybody's talking about that Dior blush that they love so much, and it's like kind of a, I think supposed to be adjusting kind of, but it looks just like this in the compact. And I've never purchased that, but I thought maybe this would be kind of like dupe territory a little bit, so I'm gonna pop this on. And there's so many cool pinks this way. It doesn't look just like it does in that opaque pan of product. Look how it's looking, you know, gently rosy, really healthy, pretty flush. To me, like, given all the people I've seen use the actual Dior, this looks like the result they get, pretty much. But I would never declare a dupe without having the actual thing on hand, but I was just kind of interested, and I was looking for Sephora collection things to try. I feel like I should be so much more well-versed on that line, so I wanted to try a bunch of different things, and this is one of the things that I got, and I love it. Again, these powder texture products, the contour, This blush, the other blush, great. Oh, I also got a new brush. Dang it, I meant to use this for the concealer. The 71 Pro Concealer. It looks, they say this is supposed to mimic a fingertip. See that cut and design kind of flat there? I feel like it would be really good for blending out the concealer, or at least partially. Oh, the kitten was down there. Or at least partially blending it out before I pull in maybe another size of brush. I thought that would be fun. I do not have a brand new highlight, so I'm just going to grab out this one from Laura Mercier. This is the highlighting powder in Rose Glow. It's not like super duper rosy, but pick some of that up with my Real Techniques setting brush and just get it down here on the top of the cheek. Aren't kids funny though? Like when they're sick, I notice this so much with Biddy because she has just such a vibrant, you know, happy disposition. Nothing gets her down. Both times when she threw up, it was like I'd see it coming a mile away if it were me and I was about to get sick. Like I'd be sensing the stuff and I'd be like, oh, this isn't gonna be good. But she's just like play, you know, like it just comes out of absolute nowhere. It's the same way with Belle too. Like, guys, don't you feel this coming up? This is a really pretty highlight, by the way. It's super soft. It's more like pearlescent soft glow than it is really metallic shimmer, and I like that. And then setting spray, I got this before the sale. I've already talked about these little airbrush flawless finish setting sprays from Charlotte Tilbury. I got the duo pack. A few mists of that. It's a good setting spray, but not like necessarily above all others. In my opinion, not above Urban Decay All Nighter. Also the scent, some of you have commented on the scent of that. It is kind of interesting. It's no MAC Fix Plus, you know? I definitely couldn't tell you what I'm actually smelling there. It's a little chemically, I guess. Oh, now might be a good time to put these on. I got this Wishing You 2 Outrageous Intense Lip Plumpers set from the Sephora line. They look like this. The packaging on these is so cute. Look at that, like, kind of quilted design all over the tube. I love that. They really are very plumping. I'm just going to put one on. I'll put on this more pinky looking one, but they're not like real colorful at all. So I thought maybe I can get that going and then my lips will be all plump by the time I put on a lipstick. Nice texture, really nice feeling gloss. Somebody told me these weren't super plumping. Like, I feel them on about the level of a Too Faced lip injection, which is some of the most potent plumping stuff I have. Maybe we just all have different sensitivities to stuff, you know? For brows, I'm gonna stay with Sephora theme here. I'm gonna use my Kosas Brow Pop in the dark brown shade. By the way, guys, that drugstore full face I did most recently, that's gotta be one of my favorite looks ever. I love the way that turned out. I loved all the products in it. Shopping at Sephora is fun and all, and I did get some good deals, but that's where my heart is. Is that look I did. Hi, sweetie, did you, oh, she brought up her toy. Hi, baby. How are you, biscuits? You could tell they weren't adjusted to the time change. They were trying to get me up early. I'm like, I already get up early enough, kitties. Brush through the brows there. Looking good. I love this Kosas Brow Pop because it's a square pencil and it's so solid in your hands. Oh man, it's burning and tingling. Sephora collection, that stuff was 30% off in this sale. And there's some good quality stuff, you know. I love that Wishing You palette. Brush-wise, they've got some impeccable brushes. I did a whole TikTok talking about, well, both the Wishing You palette and also the 56 brush that I use for all the cream steps. Those things are great, but then some of these new things that I hadn't ever been exposed to, I'm like, wow. And I got another lip set to one of their holiday lip sets, and I think it's called the Cream Stain. I had tried maybe one random mini of that a while back, but those really have some staying power. And they don't really dry you out. They do, I would say, like a 85% set on the lips, so you could still kind of pull some color off of them, but they last a long time. But a lot of the stuff in the set is really dark on my lips. Like, there's several reds. I haven't really been wearing the reds yet. The looks I've been turning out, they haven't meshed with the red so far. But I've worn all the other shades, and 2 of the 3 are very dark. And I feel like they set to be a little bit darker than you think. Where's my Kosas gel? Just trying to be consistent here. Kosas Air Brow. Also in dark brown. Kosas has the brows down. These are good products. There we go, brows are on. And I'm gonna pop on a little eyeshadow primer. I'm just gonna use Too Faced Shadow Insurance. I'm on the theme of Sephora available products. I did not get this in the sale. Can you tell my lips are pinking up a little bit, like this plumping, burning is making them have a little more color? One thing I did not get done yesterday as I planned was my meal prep because I was so into the Christmas decor, but I can hopefully get on that today. I had my eye on this potato soup that I wanted to make in the crock pot. That was one thing I wanted to do. And then I do this chicken parmesan that involves like chicken patties. It's really good. I've talked about it before on here. But anyways, I'm ready for eyeshadow. I got one new thing, one older thing. Something I'd had my eye on for a while. It's from Lawless. I'm kind of realizing Lawless is a really, really good brand. They do a lot of very high quality, nice things. And for a long time, I'd had my eye on this palette called The One. And for whatever reason, I decided to go for it now. And I think part of what really steered me to it is the sheer amount of matte in here. So much matte. There is a lot of warmth. I know this section is probably concerning to some of you, but every shade is different. I can say that one's a shimmer, one's a like barely there pearl. I love that barely pearl. This shade actually has a decent amount of peachy color to it, and this is a matte cream. But your shimmers are here, here, and here. Little shimmer in that one, and like I said, that one's kind of a pearl, this one called Casual. So they're really outnumbered by the mattes, which I liked. So my pinky's getting tired. It's a heavy palette. Even the shimmers that are in here are like really pretty and really manageable and just beautiful. This shade actually has kind of a wet look to it. And then I love what's happening down in here, these rich tones. You get a total black. To me, who likes some warm looks, I like this. If you're not into warmth, I could see you sidestepping the entire thing. But the quality has been so good. I've done several looks. I've used most of the shades in here already, and I think they're really, really good. So I got that, and then I got this new palette from ABH. It's their Glam To Go. And yeah, super basic, but a nice little mini palette. I did a gorgeous kind of dusty rose look. If you like a dusty rose, kind of taupey look, this definitely veers cool, I think. You do have this shade called Sunburst here, which, yeah, that's kind of like rose gold, a little bit peachy, but everything else, which I don't think I even used that in the look I took a picture of. So everything else makes you look like you've got this real like taupey rose thing happening. So I know that color scheme might really be some people's jam with this cool dark brown and everything. All the shades apply beautifully. Looking back, I'm thinking, given what I have in my collection, I didn't absolutely need this palette because I've got a lot of things that can go there for me already. But I was just thinking more in testing holiday type stuff. This is a holiday release from ABH, and I thought it was really good, actually. I feel like it would be a lot of people's everyday, much loved palette. But yeah, this brand called Lawless, I actually think I got a mini palette from them once, but their Forget the Filler Overnight Lip Plumping Mask is really good. It's kind of giving Laneige a run for their money. The Forget the Filler Line Smoothing Gloss, it's kind of like their take on a Buxom. They've got this beautiful palette here. I've heard their setting powder, their talc-free loose setting powder is really good. I love their one and done volumizing mascara. It's kind of close to superhero, honestly. They make a foundation I'm kind of eager to try, but like so much of what they've done I've really enjoyed. So this palette, no exception. It did come with the little gouge there. One of my Sephora orders came looking so abused and messed with. I was like, dang, nothing was broken though. Okay, I'm gonna use this today, and I'm gonna go into this shade called Baby down here. I haven't used that in my crease yet. What's that like? Ooh, that's pretty. I have combined some of the warmth with that shade down here, which is really pretty. But this palette has been around for quite a while, you know? It's been on Sephora's website, I would say, for years now. A couple of years, maybe. And yeah, it's just been something where I've always thought, oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good. Went for it finally. That's really pretty in my crease. Love the depth level on it for a mid-tone. Okay, then I'm gonna just blendy blend with a bare brush. And I love this shade called Casual up here because it just has a little bit of a pearlescent thing, just so subtle. I wish more shades would play with being that subtle with the pearliness because it looks so pretty on the surface of your skin. Oh, the tone is perfect and just that finish is so nice. Then I think I'm going to take a little bit of this color called Shady right here. Plummy brown, I'd call that plummy brown. We'll get a little bit of that going in the crease too. Deepen things up. Really nice shade. I've used a lot of that. Texture of these shadows, I feel the need to tap off just a little bit of excess, but they're not overwhelming me when I go in. They're just, I would say, pleasantly soft. Not so soft that I'm having problems. Really nice and smooth on these blends. Yes, I'm feeling the need to go in with something dark on the outer lid. I think I'm going to use a little bit of Plunge. That's my black shade, and I haven't used that yet, actually. A little bit of that. Oh, she's pure. Pure and total black. Patting that in there. About half of the lid, I'll say. Get a little bit of the crease as well. We'll go blend that out. Man, that one's serious. Not having trouble working with it. It seems to pat on evenly. Why are more people not talking about this? Or maybe they all were and it was just, like I said, a couple of years ago. Anybody else like religiously use this palette? I dig it. I really do. I'm feeling like taking small pointed now with nothing on it and just working that black around a little bit, whatever hit my crease. Letting that create a little bit more of a shape. See what I mean? And she does move the black. Some dark shades, you know how they just kind of go where you put them, but then they don't blend with very much ease. This one seems pretty easy to work with. And then maybe a little more shady now, that shade right there. And we could go in and sort of just let it lighten up and work in a bit more with the crease. That's about as smooth a blend as you're going to see on black. Wow, really pleased. I'm thinking go back with the crease brush now. I mean, this is just what I'd do if I were just here alone. Go back to baby, and I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that pretty mauve-y fade. Add it back in. I already thought I loved it, but using that black, seeing it in action, has me even more convinced. And I'm looking really close for some fallout, and I'm not seeing any, guys. I know I've used it in another look where I showed a picture, but this shade Cutie, Mauve Taupe, I'd have to say. This is so pretty, and it looks so, like, glossy. I'm just applying it with my Morphe, like, slightly smaller pointed brush. Letting it come over that black a little bit. So pretty. I love that shade. No overlap in this palette. There's really not any shades that I feel like could be left out necessarily, or like due to the fact that another shade was too close to it. I feel like every shade has its own personality. And I love that the mattes way outnumber the shimmers. But the shimmers they did put in are quality. See that gleam? Love it. You can put that on with your finger as well, but it applies fine with a brush. I'm feeling like leaving this as kind of an above the eye look. This was not purchased during the sale, but this Benefit, their Real Extreme Precision Liner Pen. I'm just going to use a little bit of this across the upper lash line. Winging up slightly. Okay, I did have a little fallout I can see with that shimmer. That won't be bad though. So light. I can dust it away. Got a nice little mini wing there. A little bit of a lift, keeping everything above the eye today. And I didn't get this mascara during the sale. I've had it. I love it. The Lawless One and Done. I'll just use that. That was the first thing I think I really loved from this line. Is the mascara. It's got the little spiky tips at the end, which does help you like get into the inner corners of your eye and stuff. Now the lips, by the way, following up on that, I think they may have plumped a little bit. They're certainly rosier than they were when we started. And the stinging has subsided mostly, but I can still definitely feel it. Like I can totally tell something's on there. So this is what the brush looks like. Again, spiky at the tip. Little short rubber bristles all over. And it just builds up fast. I mean, you see like a few strokes through. Just bulks them up. I mean, you want a bulky, thick lash. That's what I get here. Tell you, the moon was so bright when I came in this room. It was shining right through the window. Seemed to be a full moon, or at least like a nearly full moon. You guys like it when it gets dark so early? Nobody seems to love the darkness coming earlier in the day, but at the same time, if you've got your Christmas decorations, I've always thought that gives you more time to enjoy those, you know. They show off their best when it's not super bright outside, you know? Just trying to see the silver lining of things. See, if you're a person who goes in on your opposite eye and you kind of tend to go in this way, having a brush that has little spikies at the tip is going to be of major advantage to you. I swear my lips do actually feel fuller. When I go like this, I feel like there's a lot more there. Okay, so mascara is on. Again, we're going with that real upper eye focused look today. And this is that cream lip stain set that I ended up with. So it says rediscover an iconic product from Sephora collection with 6 cream lip stains and timeless must-have shades. So I will say they are very comfortable. They have a most of the way dry down, but still, like, if you're really trying to, you pull some color off. If you rubbed a tissue on your lips, some color would come off, but still they continue to wear and wear and wear all day, it seems like. So I've worn all 3 of these like lighter shades. It's really hard to just see them there. This dark one at the end, it is just so dark. It's pretty, but it's like this dark kind of brownish color. And I felt like it deepened up even more as I had it on my lips. And same with the first one in line here. I wore that yesterday and I thought, okay, it's going to be kind of a cool mauve. Both of those get incredibly dark. I mean, I'll wear them. I went with it, but just, you know, maybe a little darker than I thought I was going to get. This shade, this number 13, very everyday friendly. I'm probably going to wear that today because I just feel like it works with the eye look. But then you got 3 takes on red. It seems like kind of rich red, maybe a rich sort of warm red, and then like a true classic red. So I know I will end up getting wear out of those as like holiday time rolls on, but it truly is a nice formula. I'm going to take off some of this gloss so it doesn't mess with the staying power. I really feel like that plumper worked. Now, in taking it off, my lips feel cool. Oh, that's weird. It was more like a burny hot tingle throughout most of the wearing experience. Like I said, a lot like Too Faced lip injection, but as soon as I took it off, they feel cool. And look, more plump. All right, so we're going to use this number 13, which is my favorite so far of just the more neutrally shades. Oh, these smell really good too. I like that smell. Don't know what it is. It's not just plain vanilla though. This is a really good everyday shade. With any kind of liquid lipstick, just try not to use more than is necessary. You might have noticed I put it on the top lip, I blotted to the bottom, and then I just kind of neaten it up. Sometimes I do the opposite, put it on the bottom lip, blot to the top, and then straighten it out, but I'm not going back for more product in the tube. Go with the thinnest amount possible and it'll wear really evenly. This shade, the wear down on it is so good because it's the closest match to what my lip color naturally is, okay? So that makes a difference, I think, with the wear down and just how fresh it looks. And I think that goes for any liquid lipstick product. We don't always want to wear the shade that's closest to our lips, but like for longevity and freshness sake, this will look really good all day. Now I'm looking at my face and thinking, what do I want more of? I'm going to take a little bit of my Kosas Cloud Set, which, by the way, I was thinking of getting the shade lighter. I love this one called Breezy, but there's one shade lighter I'm kind of curious about, but man, were they sold out. So I put it on that little area where the under eye meets the blush, and I just feel extra perfected after I do that. And then I'm going to add just a bit more blush, a bit more of this really pretty cool pink shade that just doesn't look like that on the cheeks, but it gives a lot of life in its own special way. Yes, yes. So what were my favorite items that I actually got during this sale? I was very impressed by the Shiseido stuff. I will say the concealer, the foundation. I feel like it's going to take a little more like long-term use to say for sure how it stacks up with like everything else that I own. Like I've been wearing it for a little while, but maybe not a long enough while to have a perfect read on it, and especially not knowing how it wears during warmer months. I think that really tells you something about a foundation. Here's an example, like the NARS Soft Matte Foundation. That's a little on the thicker side. It has beautiful full coverage, but it wears like iron in any weather. Like you can sweat in it, it seems to stay on me no matter what. This actually gives me kind of a similar takeaway on the skin with the flawlessness of it all. A little lighter coverage than the NARS, but if it would turn out to wear really, really well in heat and sweat and all that stuff, it would kind of be giving that product a run for its money in terms of what I would choose, because if I could wear something lighter and I knew it was going to wear amazingly, you know, I might go for that in hot weather. Just because, I don't know, lighter makes more sense in the summer. But I do like those. I think both have been a success so far. But my most, like, knocking my socks off, getting me really excited things that I got in this sale are probably this Lawless the One palette. Like, that's just quality galore in there. And if you like warm shades, you'll like that. I do like the Sephora lip things that I've tried. But these Sephora collection, like blush cheek products, the contour, especially the blushes though, those are really good. They've got a great powder formula, and it's nice to see that it spills over from not just the eyeshadows, but into the blushes and the face products. I think those look so pretty. So yeah, guys, that's what I got. I feel like you could never predict what I would do in the Sephora sale, because I don't just go for the brand new stuff. I've seen haul after haul. If you spend any time on TikTok, I mean, I get a lot of makeup related content on TikTok, and I'll see all these hauls and everybody's buying the same thing, and here I am like digging up stuff that's been around for a few years and a few new things. But to be fair, I did get a lot of new like holiday stuff right after it launched weeks ago, and I've been reviewing it for weeks, so there's that. But yeah, anyway friends, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your take on anything I talked about. I'd love to hear, you know, some other opinions on that Shiseido stuff, and Lawless as well. I think that brand is really one to watch. And yeah, I'll see you guys again soon. I love you. Bye.